Alright, so Shalom, Shalom. Alright, so first and foremost, I'm going to start off by saying Barakatham, Yahabashim, Yahushua. And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000, Shalom. Alright, so Lord willing, right? I did a part one yesterday, I titled Lesson New Heavens and New Earth. Right, and we'll do this with titles of New Heavens and New Earth Part 2. As I mentioned, we're going to go into a little bit of history, into the wars, of how, with each kingdom fell. We know through the ancient Babylonian Empire, we know how they went down, right? They went down, with, that sneak attack, right? The Cyrus, the Medo-Persian and Cyrus the Great went in there, took them down, caught them at a festival, right? Took them down, they didn't go out. It was no war. Really, right? When they're a hostile takeover, right? So what we're going to go into is how the Medo-Persians went down to the Greeks, and how the Greeks went down to the Romans. Then we're going to go into how the Romans fell. Right? We're going to go to a little bit of Daniel 7, Lord through the Spirit, how the Romans fell, right? But how Daniel 7 talks about how it's going to go out. Rome didn't go out like that. Rome didn't go down by fighting and destruction. So that revives from empire is here today, right? Which is going to go down by fire and destruction. You're going to read a little bit of Isaiah 13 and Isaiah 34, Lord through Spirit, right? So here it is. I'm in chat. I typed in, can you name the wars that took each kingdom down? And I said the Medo-Persian Empire took down by Greeks. The Greeks took down by Rome, right? So it says first, Medo-Persian Empire defeated by the Greeks. The Medo-Persian Empire was broken by the campaigns of Alexander the Great. The war that ended it, Alexander's conquest of Persia, 334 BC to 330 BC, right? The battle of Granius, the battle of Issus, and the battle of Gaugamela. And that was the one when he took down, that was the last battle, the battle of Gaugamela. That was the last one. It says after Gaugamela, Persia collapsed, and Alexander took control of the empire, right? Because he took down Darius, Darius, right? Darius the third, he took him down, right? So then, all right. So then, now let's go into, all right. Let's see, the Greek empire defeated by the Romans, right? So it says after Alexander died, you read about this in First Maccabees. After Alexander died, his empire split to the Hellenistic kingdoms, right? You can read about that in First Maccabees chapter 1, where he's going into, when he divided the kingdom up. The most powerful Greek kingdoms was the Macedonian kingdom, right? The war that ended Greek dominance, the Macedonian Wars between Rome and Macedon. Most decisive battle, the Battle of Pandaia, 1618 BC. Rome defeated king and pursuers of Macedonia. After this, Macedonia became a Roman province. In 146 BC, Greece was fully subdued after the construction of Corinth. This marked Rome's takeover of the Greek world, right? So that was just, a quick insight of how these battles went down, right? And so we're going to go right here to Daniel 7, right? And, let's see. Right, so when it's naming the four beasts in Daniel 7, when you jump down to verse 17, it says, the great beasts which are four kings which shall rise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Because once we come to rulership, we ain't no more. We the last rulers, man. Once we come to rulership, ain't nobody else coming up. But these beasts, going from what is naming the beast started. The first beast is Babylon, Assyrian Babylonian Empire, right? Medo-Persian Empire, the Greeks, and the Romans, right? So let's go up a little bit, right? Right, and let's go right here, right? Verse 7, right? It says, after this I saw the night visions, and behold, the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire, dreadful and terrible, strong and steely. It had iron teeth, because it had iron weaponry, things that such, right? It says it devoured and break in pieces. It stamped the residue with the feet of it, because it was a powerful, they controlled the whole known world at the time, right? It says it was diverse from all the beasts that were before, because they had the Senate house, First Maccabees 8, starting around verse 13 on down, they had the Senate house, right? You know, basically how U.S. got the presidency. They had, they had a form of, they had that same thing going on, right? He said they had 10 horns because just how today the 10 horns of EU, Rome had the 10 horns too. You know, which were under them, right? You know. So continue reading on, and then even this too. Even though you had the union, they've always been backstabbing and killing each other. Revelation 6, right? You know, take peace from the earth, and you know they're going against each other, right? We'll read that real fast. Revelation 6, right? In verse 4 it says, and there went out another horse that was red, talking about the Edomites. He saw Edom, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. You know, he's blessed with the sword, man. That's what he do, right? It says, and that they should kill one another, which you've seen. If you read about the 12 seasons, break down the 12 seasons, you will see that, right? And it was given to him a great sword. Once again, that sword they live by, right? So, getting back into it, let's go back to Daniel 7, right? And verse 8, it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up another little horn, which is talking about America, right? Whom there were the three of the first horns plucked up by the roots, right? So you had the Spanish-American War, the Revolutionary War, then you had the French-American War, right? That was those three horns that was plucked up by the roots. And it beheld in this horn were the eyes, like the eyes of a man speaking mouth and great things. It's the blasphemy, the influence of how they come out to deceive everybody, right? Let's see, I got some notes I want to read, right? Let's see, right? So understanding this too, in NATO, you know, they had like almost 30 countries together, but America has to say so, which, you know, we talk about that a lot. You know, Ed Apostle, it's like Ed Apostle Hart used the phrase all the time, you know, America gets the cold, everybody else gets the flu, man, right? So, and how everybody pop off at America pop off at everybody because their military might, right? They go and take anything they want because, you know, that's what they blessed with, that military might, man. They're strong, right? You know, and right. So it says a fiery screen issued and came, because when you understand it, America stemmed out of Europe. America, that's why Revelation 17 goes to those 7 heads, those are carrying her. America stemmed out of Europe. America is that revised from empire. Because when you go to Revelation 13, right? Before we read on, let's go to Revelation 13 real fast. When you go to Revelation 13, right? In verse 3, it says, I saw one of his heads that were wounded to death. That's going into the Roman Empire, right? You know, when they fell, right? When they failed, you know, economic reason. And Jake came into rulership, right? And it says his deadly wound was healed. His deadly wound was healed through the Renaissance. All the world went after the beast. So that rise from empire, it came back. It didn't never go out through no destruction. So they failed through economic reasons, right? Which they came back into power, you know, through the Renaissance, right? So when we go back to Daniel 7, let's see. Let's go back to Daniel 7 and verse 9, right? It says, and I beheld till the thrones were cast down, right? And the Ancient of Days did sit, you know, talking about the Heavenly Father, whose garment was white as snow, and his hair was like the pure wool, his throne was like a fiery flame, his wheels as burning fire, to go into the chariots, right? And a fiery scream issued and came forth before him. Thousands and thousands ministered unto him, going to the angels, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books open, because there's going to be a judgment before them, right? It says, listen, verse 11, and then because the voice of the great word which the horn spoke, I beheld, even to the beast was slain, his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. So you got to think, Rome didn't go out like this, which we know America is the rise from empire. So Rome didn't go out like this. So when is that destruction gonna come? When is that next war to come? We talked about all other wars, how other wars came and his empire fall. When is that next war to come that's gonna bring this next empire down? Which is Rome today, with the fourth beast is still in rule, right? They're revived from empire, right? Let's show you how that fourth beast still in rule, right? So first we went to Revelation real fast, 13, right? We showed you how that verse 3, right? How that deadly wound was healed and came back through the Renaissance, right? So boom, let's look at verse 11, right? And it says, not beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, which is that same little horn in Daniel 7, which is who? America, right? And he had two horns like a lamb, Democrat, Republican, right? And he spake as a dragon, right? It says, he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, which is who? The Roman Empire. Because America is that revised Roman Empire, and caused the earth and them that which dwell therein to worship the first beast, who the other one was healed. Who's that first beast? The other one was healed. The Roman Empire, man. Right? You know? So understanding that, so in Daniel 7, how it tells you that it's gonna be fire and burning that destroys this beast, destroys this revised Roman Empire, man. You haven't happened yet. So what is that war that's going to take down this place? Right? So let's go to Joel, and it's the spirit I'm doing this because you see what's going on today with Israel and Iran taking down, and Lord willing, as I was meditating the spirit, trying to see how and what, how I was going to go into this, what I was going to speak about. And Lord willing, as I was riding, so I pulled over here to the store, the spirit hit me, man. The spirit hit me to go into it in this aspect. Because now that war, to end all wars, you seeing it pop off. You seeing the glimpse of it getting to it, which they bomb each other, and it's going to get way worse, man. Right? There's no healing this place. Things ain't going to come now. They do ramp down. If they do ramp down, it's they finna push that MOTB, man. Right? But they're going to still push that anyway. Right? And brothers got to be on point for that. With World War III being at his World War III, with the water starting to boil in the pot, we know the MOTB is coming, man. Prophecy, other prophecies pop off to show you that other prophecies, are right at the door, right? So let's go to 2nd Ezra 12, right? Because we knowing Yahushua is to come after that fourth beast rule, right? Because in 2nd Ezra 11, Shalakia, and verse, we're going to read 12:2, verse, we just get to the point, right? Because it speaks about this lion, verse 37, it speaks about how that lion, which is Yahushua, which is also Revelation 5, Yahushua's spirit, spoken of as a lion as well, right? That lion coming out and is speaking to the eagle, the eagle was the Roman Empire, which Ezekiel 17 speaks about the eagle as well. And also Deuteronomy, right? Speaks on the eagle as well. It was their Roman Empire, man, right? So this verse 39, Yahushua said to them, right? I'll read 38, says, "Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, art thou not it that remaineth of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, and the end of the time might come through them?" Right? So understand that four beasts is still here because the scripture tells that Yahushua is going to come after this four beast goes down. Right? And this four beast is what's showing you this four beast is still in rule today. America's that revised Roman Empire. Right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra 12, and we'll read verse 31. Right? It says, "And the lion whom thou sawest rising up out of the wood and roaring and speaking to the eagle," that Roman Empire, "and rebuking her for her unrighteousness with all the word which thou hast heard, this is the anointed, Hamashiach," right? Yahushua, which the highest hath kept for them and for their wickedness unto the end. He shall reprove them, upbraid them with their cruelty. For he shall set them before him alive in judgment. He shall rebuke them and correct them, right? So when you go to 2 Thessalonians, right, 2 Thessalonians 2, right? And we're going to start at verse 8. It says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed," which Malachi 1:4 tells us who the wicked are, the Edomites, which the earth is in the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24, we told Edomites who the so-called white man, right? It says, "And that wicked shall be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth," which are the spirit of the mouth right now, the mouth of the Lord right now is the prophets, "and shall destroy the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and law and wonders." So who's that speaking of? Yahushua coming. He's coming to bring destruction upon them, right? So what is that war to end our war? Let's go to Joel 3. When Yahushua come out of fact. We read Joel first, then we'll go to 2nd Ezra, right? So this is and once again, the spirit's on me because you see it here today. So now we at the doors of we close, man, to the new heaven and new earth coming, to the kingdom of Yahushua. Because we seeing the war to end our wars. Remember, his kingdom, Yahushua raised up kingdoms, he brought down kingdoms. The kingdoms would fall through the wars. This empire will come take down this empire. This empire will come take down this empire, right? You had the four beasts. You had the Babylonians go down to the Medo-Persian Empire, right? When they came in, took them over. You had the Greeks go down, Medo-Persian Empire go down to the Greeks through Gaugamela. It's like I'm saying that right. Right, was that 331 BC or 330 BC? Gaugamela. I'm gonna quote it right. Yeah, 331 BC. Right, right. Then you had then you had the Romans take down the Greeks, but the Romans are still here today, right? Matter of fact, I'm read Daniel 7 again. I'm gonna read that again. I'm showing you how, right? So it says Daniel 7 what's gonna come into this beast, right? It says, and I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair was like the pure wool, the Heavenly Father, Ancient of Days, right? Right? So these thrones are talking about the thrones of the heathen. It's explaining who the four beasts are, which was the kingdoms that rule and will be destroyed, ending with the Romans, right? So these thrones are cast down, and it showed you how these other ones was cast down. So now we're going to how this fourth beast is going to be cast down, right? It says, who did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair was like pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels, the chariots, as burning fire. A fiery scream issued and came forth before him. Thousands ministered to him. The angels, the chariots filled the sky. Many brothers, and they went into that. They count the other day, right? And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. I beheld, then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, right? I beheld even to the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame, right? Because this beast is finna go down. These other beasts that went down, this fourth beast, now it's finna go down in fire and burning flame, right? So we just read 2 Ezra 12. What was we go through to the spirit? Hold on, I'm finna go to. It's like I lost my thought right there. Going into Joel 3, right? So this Joel 3, right? And starting at verse 2, because Isaiah 9 and 5 tells you that though this war to come is going to be a nuclear war. It's going to be a war of bombs going out, drones going over there dropping bombs. But this is going to be a nuclear war, man, right? That's that burning that fire, that's that lake of fire is going to come upon this place, right? So this Joel 3 in verse 2 says, I will gather all nations, and I will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, right in the Middle East, Yahweh Shaphat, which you're seeing right now today, right? And I will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage, because Yahweh Shaphat is going to gather them all together and make them fight, right? And it says, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, are part of my land. But this is going to the third woe. This is going into World War III, right? Which Isaiah, in verse 34, Isaiah chapter 34, he saw the aftermath. He saw the aftermath of Armageddon, right? It says, Isaiah 34, starting verse 1, come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people, that the earth and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it, for the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations. He is free upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. So he's seeing the aftermath of Armageddon or Jehoshaphat, which he saw, man. Let's see. Bear with me. Revelation 16 and 16, man, right? It's going into the miracles and things and such that, they're going to do, right? Right, look, Revelation 16 says he gathered them together in a place in Hebrew. It's like he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. So that's Armageddon. Joel 3 talks about that, man. Armageddon, which the war to end all wars. It's how this fourth beast is going to go out. I got this AC on. This causing me to catch a little cold a little bit. It's like it. Right? Let's go back to Isaiah 34 and read down a little bit more, right? So it says, so their slain shall be cast out, their stench shall come out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. Those fire jets, all of that, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. How rolled together as a scroll? That scroll cloud, right? With the nuclear bombs, what makes that scroll cloud, that mushroom cloud, right? And all their hosts shall fall down, the fighter jets and satellites, all of it, right? As the leaf follow from a vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, shall come down upon Idumea, right? What is Herod father's name? Herod the Roman king, Roman emperor. How you want to put it? His father's name Antipater the Idumea. Because they Edomites. Idumea is the Greek when they say Edom, right? Which is Esau, Edom, the Edomites. It says, upon the people of my curse to judgment, right? So understanding that you know, this is by the fact I'm talking about verse 9. It says the screens thereof shall be turned into a pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become a burning pitch. Understanding that this place is gonna be burnt forever. This place is gonna be done, and Rome didn't go out like this, right? Ancient Babylon didn't go out like this. So when you go to Isaiah 13, this is showing you vividly of the war that's gonna take down this fourth beast, right? Which we look at the wars of how the other beasts went out. This is how the fourth beast gonna go out, which is showing you this fourth beast is still today, right? America that rise from empire, man. Babylon, spiritual Sodom of Egypt, right? It says the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see, right? And I want to jump down. Let's see. I want to jump down when it says the Medes. Isaiah 13, verse 17 says, "Behold, I restore the Medes against them," referring to the Russians, "which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows, meaning their missiles, shall also dash the young men to pieces. They shall have no pity for the fruit of the womb." That's not spelled children, right? It says, and Babylon, which is referring to America, this vile Roman Empire, this beast here, this fourth beast, was still here today. The glory of the kingdom, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when Yahweh, excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, right? So understand this place is going to be destroyed, man, with fire, burning, nuclear destruction, right? Which we're seeing Armageddon, that third woe popping off today. We seeing it popping off now, man. We seeing it. We seeing how this new heaven, new earth going to come. How the other beasts, how they fell. Read Revelation 21 again, right? I went into yesterday, right? Revelation 21, verse 1 and 2, it says, "I saw a new heaven and new earth, for the first heaven and first earth to pass away." Because why? 2 Ezra 6 and 9, "For Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it, that father, the end of this world, the end of this earth, the end of this place," right? So that new heaven going to come is when the destruction, World War III pop out, and Yahweh shot the chariots bringing destruction upon this place, right? It says, "There was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, the kingdom, coming down from heaven, coming from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride door for her husband," right? And when you go to Isaiah 54, it tells you how Israel is seen as that woman. Matter of fact, let's read that real fast. So we go to 2 Ezra, right? Isaiah 54 and 5 says, "For thy maker is thy husband, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name, and thy redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the power of whom the whole earth shall he be called. For the Lord hath called thee as a woman forsaken, grieving spirit, a wife of youth, when thou was refused," said the Lord. So with that bride, ultimately is dealing with the elect, right? The election of the nation of Israel. They're the ones who are going to be delivered and saved for this place, man, right? So let's go to 2 Ezra 13 real fast, right? Going into that war was going to come upon this place, right? 2 Ezra 13 and right here, 2 Ezra 13 and verse 10, right? Going to that war heavy, how Yahweh Shai, how Yahweh Shai and the angels gonna fill the sky, and Yahweh Shai on that big chariot when bring destruction upon this place, right? So it's 2 Ezra 13, so on that verse 9, it says, "And lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came," right? Because they're gonna be fighting each other, how they are now, then they're gonna turn to fight Yahweh Shai. "And lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came. He lifted up his hand nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war. But I only saw that he sent out his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, I mean the beams from the chariot, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together with the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with the violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one of them, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, only dust and smell of smoke. And I saw that I was afraid." So Ezra seen the aftermath of this war in heaven. Armageddon. Isaiah seen Armageddon go off. Then he's seeing Armageddon. World War III gonna be going on, but he's seeing when Yahweh Shai come in the midst of it, they're gonna turn from fighting Yahweh Shai, they're gonna turn fight each other to fight Yahweh Shai, man. So this place is doomed. This the place where Armageddon is gonna pop up. This is the place where it's gonna go out of nuclear destruction, right? Which we're seeing glimpses of that today. This is how that new heaven, new earth going to come in. How this place is going to fall. How this place is going to go down, man. Right? What I want to bring out. Before I close out, let's see. Revelation 11 and 18. Right, Lord willing. right? Matter of fact, verse 11, starting verse 13, it said, the same hour there was a great earthquake, right? The 10th part of the city fell, right? Those bombs going off. And the earthquake was slain of men 7,000. The remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven. The second war was past, the second war, and behold, the third war coming quickly, World War III. And the seventh angel sounded, and there was a great voice in heaven. The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord Yahweh and of his anointed, Hamashiach. You have the anointed, meaning Hamashiach, and anointed one, make it plural, Hamashiach Yom, that's the anointed one, which is the elect. He shall reign forever and ever, because no other kingdom is going to come up after, the elect rule, man. After Yahushua, King David, and the elect, man, right? So this is that war Armageddon, World War III, which we're seeing now, which is going to bring down this kingdom. Russia's going to be that. Russia's going to, well, you're going to see, man, Russia get involved, Russia's going to shoot those missiles. You see how they're destroying Iran missiles, things like that? Hey, it's all playing out. You can see it. They're destroying Iran nuclear plant, things like that. Wow, this thing, Russians are going to pop out. But ultimately, you should get ready for it. The MOTB, take control. You should get ready for those times as well, because those things are going to come in the midst of this World War III ramping up, man, right? So, Lord willing, right? Hope this lesson is edifying and exalting. I want to give honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom.